but didn't go for it. Udyr is going to be a ban from WhiteLotus. He must know something we don't. I don't see how Udyr is good in the 1v1.
I think that's a trick question. He's actually not. But that is going to be banned away with the Riven, which is actually very good. And Seiya, phenomenal Riven player.
Yeah, that makes sense. Graves, Annie as well. Those first two bans are throwing me through a loop, but Annie will be the next ban coming out. That does make some sense. Have seen some Annie so far. Not to too much success. Has been eliminated by Cassiopeia so far. In Aurelia will be the final ban from WhiteLotus.
Oh my god. Seiya, you're going to need to calm down, mate.
Is it a secret message hidden in the bans?
Oh, this feels like it's a predetermined thing. These guys, they're both Latin American, and one of them's going to go into the final. So they've sat down in the background. They said, you know what? Let's have an Ezreal off.
I like it. It's so raw in terms of mechanic. Who hits the most Qs? It is that simple. But then again, it's like, it just man against man. It's like a boxing match.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly. This is like the Reigns Lee Sin matchup where it's all down to those raw mechanics. Can you talk me through a little about like how you think this matchup is going to go? What tools do they have, Yamato, in this 1v1 between Ezreals?
I feel like the level 1 is going to be so important, even before the minion spawn. Who's going to get pressure in the bush? Who's going to land those Qs on the hidden targets in the bush? Because whoever reaches level 2 is going to go for the E-in and go for the all-in right away.
Exactly. We saw that even in the Japanese game in the 5 versus 5. Siros playing Ezreal in the mid lane. The level 2 is super strong. So I agree with Yamato. It's entirely about control of the minion waves on that first wave. Get level 2 first and actually control it, and you should win.
Yeah, I mean, while we've seen that control over the level 2, getting level 2 and then pushing your opponent out, what we haven't seen yet is both go for the level 2 and then just go for the all-in immediately and then try and get that kill. And I feel like we could actually see that here with these two Ezreal players because they will be fighting tooth and nail over that level 2.
Yeah, they definitely shall be. There is a small difference that we will probably see from these guys. Stylistically, of course, the only things that they have different are going to be runes and masteries. And it's going to be very curious to see what route they take with those.
Yeah, further battle could be good. What else are we looking at? Even Thunderlords could be good.
Congrats to the Undying.
Yeah, applies on Q.
Really good.
Call that the Siros special.
Oh, both Qs have missed so far.
You belong in a museum.
Neither of them are saying it. I'm surprised. Maybe the animation is too long. Locks you in and then you get queued.
This is just... Is it the skill matchup when they're just laughing at each other? I feel like whoever taunts the best will get the first Q.
Well, I wonder if the taunt animation is longer than the laugh animation, so it locks you in.
Yeah, it might.
I'm a little surprised WhiteLotus didn't just queue the minions there, just so you can get the... Because it's down to these autos. Look at both these players. They're autoing as fast as they can. They're not missing a beat, so they can kill these minions as fast as possible.
Yeah, they definitely are. It's, again, as we mentioned, going to be about control of the levels. Who can actually get control of the minions, but not push into the turret. That's the delicate feature of this 1 versus 1, because if it goes to the turret, they're just going to reset it one more time.
Okay, WhiteLotus pushing up here.
So on top of that, the WhiteLotus just has to kill one minion to get, of course, the level 2. But as long as Seiya stays within the minion wave, the all-in is very hard to do. You just need to hug those minions and make use of them because they work as towers.
Yeah, WhiteLotus is trying to get in range, has, of course, skilled up the Arcane Shift. But, of course, if you are near those minions, then the homing bolt will just hit a minion instead and not going to hit your desired target.
There is going to be a lot of skill shots hitting and missing in this one, and it entirely comes down to who hits the most, I guess. Hit rate, and WhiteLotus, the first to be over-aggressive.
Very important to note the relic timing here, right? So WhiteLotus needs to keep pushing. I think he should just keep firing the Q into the wave, maintain his passive so he can push as fast as possible because the relic is coming up. Yeah,
very soon. He's going to be pushing this back line. Gets the level 3 over Seiya. Looks like he's going to be pushing into the turret. The relic will be spawning very shortly.
10 seconds.
Yeah, he's pushing forwards. Both of them have Arcane Shift. Seiya's already sitting on top of it.
Actually hugging it.
I would have liked to have seen some more aggression from WhiteLotus because the minion wave isn't even in the perfect position for him.
Yeah, very interesting to note as well that WhiteLotus didn't go for the W approach here. He's put 2 levels into his Q to try and push the minions, seemingly.
Is that even worth, though? Because Seiya's gone for the W and is literally harassing WhiteLotus over the minions. And in a matchup like this, where you can only land the Qs if you sidestep behind, between the minions, it's very difficult. But WhiteLotus goes back to base. Hasn't put a point yet in
What is
W.
that minion doing?
It's rebelling.
Doesn't care, man.
He wants peace.
Angsty teenage minion.
Oh, he's going to die now. There we go. Another CS in the bank for Seiya. WhiteLotus just went back to base, by the way, and picked up a Darn Shield, plus the health potion. and doesn't have biscuits, so he hasn't gone down the middle mastery tree at all. No cunning.
No, I would assume 18 into the offense tree.
Yeah.
Has the ferocity.
Yeah.
Okay, Seiya's gone further a battle, I can see that.
Stylistic differences as well. They've agreed to the skill matchup, evidently. But again, the only things they can change are their personal preference of masteries and, to a degree, runes, but they are very similar in runes. So we'll see if the actual mastery differences...
Both further.
Yeah, both further. There you go.
I feel like putting the point in W is very important because it allows you to maintain all the stacks and all these things that are stacking up for you.
Does that mean WhiteLotus is in Resolve, going for the block mastery to reduce damage taken?
Probably.
He's got that with the Doran's shield. I actually like that a lot against an Ezreal.
Okay, we'll see what Seiya does in return. Double Doran's Blade. And WhiteLotus has the extra cloth armor as well. So I actually think WhiteLotus and a prolonged trade both level at the same level, now hitting level 5. WhiteLotus might come out on top.
My concern is this is literally going to come down to the last minion wave when they're both at about 95 CS.
Yeah.
And they're both just going to freak out and all in somehow.
I feel like this is going to be very interesting as soon as you see some bananas flying all over the place.
Yes.
That's very true.
For reference, that's level 6, not Soraka's.
Yeah, WhiteLotus. A little surprised. Like, okay, I thought that maybe one of them would put more points in W, because there is a fun trick you can do with Ezreal where you send out the W and then you arcade shift into the W, so you give yourself attack speed. I actually do want to see in a 1v1 if both these players employ that.
It's like theoretically, if both players play it correct, Qs should never land. So theoretically, W in a perfect scenario is better.
Yeah.
But I think both of them want to send a message to their teammates. I'm better than you.
Well, so far we have seen a bunch of Qs landing, mainly from Seiya.
Yeah.
Case in point.
Exactly right, but of course level 6 is about to happen.
Oh, that was nice from WhiteLotus. Gets to level 6 before Seiya goes for the all-in. Hasn't burnt any summoners just yet, didn't need to. That was actually really nice from WhiteLotus. A little bit of restraint there, just getting the advantage. But now Seiya has level 6, but he needs to respond in a big way.
He should realistically ult this wave, use that banana you were mentioning, and consider recalling and shopping, just so he can get his next item.
For sure, for sure. I think he has a significant item advantage simply because he went for the Doran's Blade instead of the shield. I think it provides him with more sustenance because both of them are just bashing the wave all the time.
What do you think in terms of item builds here that the players will be going for? Is a Hex Drink even worth it because of the magic damage you get from Ezreal's abilities? Are we looking at a Sheen for more aggression?
I think Sheen is the perfect choice. We see both players have like a massive mana problem. It solves that, and on top of that, it makes your Q hurt a lot more.
It's not worth going for any kind of tier stacking ability. So anything that gives flat mana, you would generally prefer. And Sheen's the only real offensive choice that you would go for above all else. You could consider a Glacial Shroud if you're going to be a super cheese like Yamato was yesterday.
Cheese wins games.
It does.
It's all about the message, man.
Do I need to stand in the middle of you two? Do I need to separate you guys? I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. I'm quite short.
We hugged it out. We hugged it out.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Residual salt lies there, though.
Alright, there's a couple minutes here. Seiya is gradually edging ahead in terms of CS. The ultimate doesn't land on Seiya, though.
Just a push.
Yeah, so is he going to go back here?
Should just base.
He's getting some chunk damage on the tower.
I understand the concern from WhiteLotus, though. He's falling behind in minions by a fair bit. If he recalls and gets another wave behind, Seiya does have the sustain advantage that you mentioned with that second Doran's. He could end up falling at risk to losing to farm.
Well, both of them have enough gold for Sheen if they wanted to go back right now. I just wonder if WhiteLotus has something else in mind.
Seiya also has the banana advantage.
Yeah.
Use it. That's the question.
It's true, but it has to be in an all-in, and WhiteLotus isn't currently in kill range. And I feel like you kind of have to, if you're not planning on all-ing in, you have to match the opposing banana, because then there's a big window when you use it where WhiteLotus will have his up.
It's also the fact that if you don't use the banana for anything, simply because they seem to be avoiding the all-in at all costs, the more bananas you throw out because the Q reduces the cooldown of it, the more efficient it becomes.
Banana Fairy.
No, I agree. I was just really distracted because in the middle of your point, all I can hear is this the whole time. It's like boom headshot in the current Caitlyn patch.
Oh, going in. Seiya has his ultimate,
banana.
remember. He needs to land it. The exhaust is coming up. Gets it with the auto. Doesn't even need the banana.
Stone Cold.
Potassium overload.
Seiya, the man that we did coin as the favorite potentially to win this. We did say he was the dark horse has now placed himself into the final. Out Ezrealing the other Ezreal from his own region.
As we said, we kind of assumed this was kind of predetermined, that they played Ezreal into Ezreal. I feel like it's a bit unfair because Ezreal to me is more of a mid-champion than an AD carry. I don't think the middle ground is there.
Yeah. Depends on the season, I suppose. Most recently, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, well, maybe the best representative